Just want to have to reinvent the wheel. So let's say I was looking for an activity here with a dihybrid cross, a typical genetics activity. And somebody has already developed a nice CSCS activity that they want to share with me. Well, we can copy their website and so forth and paste it into ours. But in terms of the associated documents, in other words, the forms that correspond to this, or the data tables that are generated from that, we really don't want to start from scratch. So there's four different levels of access to these documents. The first is as an owner. So if I clicked on the share up here, I can see that I am the owner, but I've also set this up so that somebody else by the name of Science Sourcebook here can edit it. So the owner has the highest level of privileges, then editors would have the second level of privileges. A third would be people who can view this. So if I change this over here that this person can only view it, and I'll change that right now. Now Science Sourcebook can only view this document. That would be a third level. And finally, somebody who is not logged in, who just happens to be given the access by making it public on the internet where they can find and view it, would have the fourth level. So the top two levels have the greatest level of control, as we can see over here. As the owner, I can make a copy of this. So I could simply duplicate this, and indeed I make a copy of this. This is a new spreadsheet. It's called Copy of Chi-Squared Genetics, and it has all of the original data, including the summaries and the ratios and so forth. So this is particularly nice if you want to create two different versions of it, or versions for different classes where you want to keep the data separate. And remember that all of this data that you've entered right here can simply be reset. I can go up here and say, you know what, I really like to take the data from this section here, and I'm just going to take all the original data that was imported from the form, and I'm going to delete those values. And you'll notice that the whole table now is blank and ready to receive more data. Or I could eliminate all of those rows there and simply go back to the original. And as new data is entered, the form will fill again. Now, in this case right here, again, you'll notice that all of the tables have been reduced down to 0 and so forth, because again there is no associated data with this. But I'm still working with the copy of. So the original one, Chi-Squared Genetics, which is right here, still has all that information. So even though I eliminated it from the other one, it's still here in this case right there. So you can see now that if I log in under that second account, that Science Sourcebook account, which is the one I'm under right now, I have viewing privileges. And as viewing privileges, if I look at my file commands here, you'll notice that there's a number of them that are grayed out. I can't rename it because I don't own it. I can't see the revision history again because I can't own it and I'm not the editor. And so I can't change any of those things that I could as an owner or as an editor. However, and this is very important, I can still make a copy of it. And this is how it's so powerful. So if I wanted to share my files with you, and of course they all are shared with you, and if you like them, you can simply say make a copy of this, and then this is going to go into your account, and here I am logged in only as a viewer, and have been able to duplicate the entire spreadsheet. There it is. You can see now this is in my account, and I have all of the access privileges that I would want. And I can set this up for my own class again by deleting the data and starting fresh. So again, this is the procedure that you would use if you're looking at any of the associated CSCS lessons you'll find on my site or any other teacher or professor developed site. Now the fourth level is simply to come in on the internet as a unsigned in viewer. You'll notice right up here it says sign in. That's because I'm not currently signed in. In other words, I'm not signed into a Google account. And since I'm not signed into a Google account, I cannot copy it anywhere. If I look over at File, options right now, you'll see that the only one here is download as. Now, still in this particular setup, if I'm not signed in with my Google account, I can still get this resource by downloading it as an Excel file. However, in the process, I will lose the associated forms. And so, even though I could download this and then re-upload it into my Google account, and it would keep this spreadsheet integral and connected, it would lose the associated forms. So we're not going to show this particular technique. Instead, just always log in with your Gmail account and you'll have the copy option.